Today is the day. Everything I ordered from the new Essence update just arrived to me. I am so excited to be trying out all of these new products. I didn't end up buying a little more than I was thinking at first. And yeah, we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna be showing you swatches. We're gonna apply it to my face. I'm gonna share my first impression thoughts. So let's get into it. I'm already wearing a little bit of eyeshadow because I don't really have any palette here, but I do have a few things to kind of like spruce up the look. And I think that's what we're gonna be starting out with today. So first up, one of the things I bought is the Jelly Jewels Glitter Eyeshadow Topper. And I got the shade 02 Celestial Shimmer. There's also another shade in this, but of course I first wanted to see if this is any good. This seems very shimmery, very jelly. Feels really wet, but then it dries down. Once you see this in kind of like low light, it becomes so beautiful and sparkly. I think this is gonna be a really nice eyelid topper. This is a little bit more fine in the shimmer. I feel like they also have some products that have more of like a flakiness to them. This doesn't seem to be that. I'm very excited to try this out. It looks amazing. Okay, I zoomed you in a little bit. Now I can see what I'm doing. All right, I've taken a little bit of this on my finger. I feel like you have to be a little bit careful how much you take. I feel like it can get a little bit too much. And we're just gonna apply this on top and see what happens. Well, it doesn't feel as wet as I was expecting it to. Let's take a little bit more and just dab that over. We are gonna like cover up what I already had going on, but I did want to put something down first. Okay, that feels really nice. I feel like grabbing a little bit more is the way to go, otherwise you don't really see a lot of it. Gonna grab a brush to kind of like blend the edge here. I think that actually looks really nice. It's sparkly, but it's not chunky. It looks really cute actually. It's a nice topper, but yeah, there's something more subtle about it almost than I was thinking. Like, it's really beautiful, but there's something still quite elegant about it. So if you don't like something that is really like chunky or very textured, this can be really nice for you. And I don't feel like it's easy to go overboard. Like, you can take quite a bit and just like spread that out. I also don't feel like it's lifting up the eyeshadow that I have on underneath. Like, some more liquidy or more red eyeshadows, they start looking a little weird and they bunch up a little bit if you... Where did I put my brush? If you apply a little bit too much, but this doesn't seem to be the case with this. I really like it. That is a really nice topper. I like it almost more than I was expecting, because I feel like this is something that is gonna go with a lot of looks, and I think it's more versatile than something very, very chunky. I enjoyed it. That's cute. And this is what it looks like on my finger now. It's definitely purpley, but it has like different colored shimmers in it, like red, green, blue. Next up for the eyes, I also bought the Essence Eye Sparkle Liquid Liner. And this is a very sparkly kind of like champagne, yellow champagne liquid eyeliner. This is in the shade Sparkling Lights, and it's swatched really nicely. I feel like this would also be a really great topper for eyeshadow, but of course we already have a topper on. I was thinking to apply this more like in the inner corner, see how that works. So we have a really small applicator. I think it's gonna be pretty easy to be precise with this. Oh, that is already looking really nice. I'm gonna grab a brush to kind of like blend it out. Essence hasn't come out with a lot of products for the eyes lately, but what they have done, I feel like is really smart. I feel like lid topper sparkly shades are what is like on trend right now, so I can totally understand why we're getting these types of products now. That is really nice. I feel like you can use it many different ways. My eye is kind of tearing up because the brush of the liner tickled my skin a little bit. Very strange. That never really happens. Yeah, I think this is really cute. I don't know if I would use it a lot actually as a liner, but as a little addition, a little bit of a topper, definitely. This looks really, really nice. I hope you can kind of see it. I just built it up a little bit more so you can really see what's going on. That is really nice and sparkly. I put on a little bit of shadow liner. I put a little bit of liner in the waterline. I also just realized that my computer was still on, so maybe you heard a little bit of that, but let's move on. So next up I have the Essence Lash Princess False Effect Lash Mascara to try out. And this is in a new shade. This is in the shade Black Brown. I've never tried any of the Lash Princess mascaras because they are all in black. I don't really wear black mascara. And my favorite mascara is actually from Essence. That is the Lash Without Limits Brown Mascara. I use this basically every time I put on mascara. This is my absolute favorite. I did compare these. The Lash Without Limits has a bit more of like a plastic brush. It has a similar shape though, and the color of the Lash Without Limits is a little bit lighter. I am, however, very excited to finally try out one of the Lash Princess mascaras because I have high hopes. I mean, people love these mascaras. I don't know if this is the one that people always rave about. Seems to be some differences between them, but I'm very excited to try it out. I already think I'm really gonna like this brush. Seems to have quite a like fluffy effect to the lashes. It's definitely a little bit darker than what I usually use, but that is looking really, really nice, really fluffy. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's creating volume. Okay, another layer. This is nice. This is nice. It doesn't happen a lot that I try mascara and immediately love it, love the look of it. Like, often they have to dry out a little bit, but this is great. Just look at the difference. Just look at the impact that makes. Okay, I love that. I don't know if this would beat my favorite because I do like a light brown and that one does give really a lot of length, but this one gives a lot of volume. I really think this is a great mascara. Just look at that. That didn't take me much work at all. And I do really like the wand of this. The wand works really well for me for the volume. I feel like the Lash Without Limits, that wand separates a little bit more than this. And the bottom lashes, that is working well. I'm gonna pay attention to whether this is gonna flake on me. It is later in the day, like it's after work, it's already 5 o'clock, so I'm not gonna be doing a full wear test of everything, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. But I feel like my lashes are looking very good. I'm really liking it. Really liking this eye look so far. All right, let's try a lip product. I wasn't sure if I was gonna pick this up. This is the Pearly Potion Multi-Reflective Lip Gloss, but I saw it on the site and then I read the name and it's called Golden Peach and it really caught my attention. I thought, what exactly is going on here? What kind of color is this actually? And I have to say the swatch of this is impressive. It looks absolutely amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. It just is kind of like this shimmery, not glittery, golden peachy green, multicolored sparkle. Like there's so much going on here. It's so shifty. It looks amazing. Smells slightly sweet, but not offensively sweet. Not offensively strong. It has a subtle scent, so let's see. That is gorgeous. That is, I think, one of the most beautiful glosses I've seen ever. It is just so dimensional. I do feel the shimmer a little bit, but it's not extremely like chunky or that it bothers me. I just feel that it is shimmery, but this has such a nice glow to it. Do you see, like there's so much going on here? I do feel like I applied a little bit too much, but this is gorgeous. I don't know, it's almost like multi-chromatic, but then also shimmery. Like there is so much happening on my lips right now. Alright, let's move on to the next product. I actually thought it would be fun to try the new Essence Brow Powder Duo set. I haven't really used any brow powder in my life, which is kind of strange. Like maybe I would actually like it, but I've never tried it. And I thought this would be the perfect moment to see if it's something for me, maybe. I always like to try things out from drugstore brands first. and then see if it's something for me. Then I could kind of like range out, try like the best of the best or like more expensive brands. So I got the shade Light because my brows are like on the lighter choppy side. I think it's gonna be a pretty good color. I don't really have a brow brush because, as I said, I don't have any brow powder. So we're just gonna try it with this teeny tiny brush that you get with the brow powder. I don't know if I'm gonna love that, but we're gonna try it. I'm first gonna go in the lightest shade and we're just gonna like fill in my brows. But yeah, as I said, I haven't really used anything like this before, so I'm not gonna be able to compare it to anything else, but this is it. I like to keep it pretty natural, so a little bit filled in. I feel like it's looking pretty good. Of course, I'm also gonna use a bit of brow gel as well. I do think that if I would keep using something like this, I would buy a brush that's a little bit more like easy to hold than this tiny thing. I feel like this is not too pigmented. It's working pretty well. I think I'm quite liking it. I did get a comment of someone saying that brow powder wears like the longest and the best on them. Now I work from home and I don't really like do anything crazy usually in my life, even though I do love to like go on walks every day. So I will also be out in like the rain and the cold, but I don't feel like I need something to wear that well on me, but maybe that would help you. I think this is looking good. I'm liking it. I feel like that was pretty easy, especially because I already have like quite a lot of brow hairs. I just want to make them look a little bit more like defined and full. But I feel like, yeah, this is looking good. Next up, we have a product that I was really excited to try. This is the Essence Baby Got Bronze Shimmering Bronzer. So I've tried these in the like plain cream version, which I do really like. It blends out really well, it works really well. And now we have two shades of shimmery bronzer. I got the lightest shade and this one is in 10 Golden Hour. This has quite a golden sheen to it, so this is gonna pull a little bit warmer than the base color actually is because it's the golden like sheen. But we're gonna try it out. I hope it's not gonna be like too warm on me, but I'm pretty excited. Like, it's something new, something a little different. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that on my forehead. Oh no! I'm totally messing up. I'm messing up. I have to take this off. Okay. I'll be right back with a bare face once again. Abort mission, abort mission. Okay, we have skin products to try first. Like, multiple. I don't know what I was doing. Like, my brain isn't working anymore, but we got to try these products. I want to try these products. Okay, first up, I want to try the Essence Drop of Sunshine Highlighting Drops with hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. They also have the bronzing drops. I really like the bronzing drops. And now we have liquid highlighting drops, and this says it's for an instant glow, perfect alone or mixed with daily care and foundation. Shake well before use. The bronzing drops were really heavily scented, but I did really like the way they looked on the skin. They were very flattering. They were like feeling hydrating. These seem to be a little bit less scented. I don't really smell like a strong scent. I am gonna apply a little bit on the back of my hand, like so. It's really kind of like a cool tone champagne. And I'm not gonna be using this on the high points of my face. I'm just gonna be using this kind of like all over, and I'm taking this big brush to kind of like apply this all over my skin, because I want to use this kind of as a primer and see if I like it all over the face. I have been really into the Kiko Serum Glowy Face Base, and I'm feeling like this could have a similar effect blended out like this. I feel like this gives a little less almost like the nude tint that Kiko has, but it has a really nice non-glittery glow that does make the skin look really healthy. I could definitely see myself using this on its own. I feel like it's looking really good, and I feel like if you use it more pinpointed, it's gonna make for more of a like subtle lit from within highlighter. I feel like this is looking really nice. And it's not feeling sticky, it's just a thin layer. It's really like sinking into the skin well, but it's making it look very healthy. Like, I do really like it. It's not too much, it's not too metallic, and that is what I really like about the bronzing drops as well. They are not shimmery, they are not metallic, they just look really nice and smooth and just lovely on the skin. Okay, next product. I feel like I bought a shade that's a little bit too light. I find it the most difficult to find my shade online when there are so many options. I got shade 30 in the foundation stick by Essence, the new foundation stick, and it looks a little light. It looks a little bit too light. We're gonna see how it's gonna look on the skin, but swatched out, it did seem pretty pigmented. I do have to say, I think the scent of this is absolutely terrible. I don't like the way this smells. It is very scented. The Skin Tint stick from Catrice, I believe, is not scented or really lightly scented, so that it isn't really like too intense. This is very scented and I don't find it personally to be a pleasant scent. Smells like a herbal hand soap. Like, it doesn't smell good to me. I think this is gonna be very pigmented. It seemed very creamy, it seemed very pigmented. I didn't really swatch it next to the Skin Tint stick because this seems so much more pigmented. I don't think this is gonna be similar at all. I do hope that I can wear this a little bit more like lightly. I just think it's gonna be a few shades too light. But it's just a little bit hard to choose online. Also, not all shades were there at Bougie Shop. I don't know like when they will arrive. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go a little bit deeper than this. Like, sometimes it's so hard to know what you are. Like, in some lines I am the lightest shade, and then in some lines I am the 10th shade. I don't know. Like, I'm not the fairest of fair, but I'm definitely pretty fair right now. Sometimes it's just hard to choose. And I don't think they're gonna have all the shades in the store, so yeah, makes it a little bit difficult for people to buy these even though they have a lot of shades. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit too light for me. It looks a little odd, it looks a little, yeah, a little strange, a little stripy. And we're just gonna blend it out and see. It doesn't have like crazy coverage like this, so I feel like I probably can get away with it if I apply bronzer and everything. If I warm it up a bit, deepen this up a bit. Yeah, I don't think this is the worst match, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I would buy another shade if I end up like liking this at least a bit. But the scent makes me feel like this is not gonna be a favorite. I'm gonna apply a little bit on my neck as well to match it. Yeah, I feel a little bit ghostly, slightly ghostly with this on. So let's try and match that. And now I'm like at my fairest that I will be. I do see a natural finish. It doesn't feel sticky or heavy. It doesn't feel drying. Let's look at it a little bit more up close. I feel like it's looking pretty good on the skin. It's not looking too weird actually. It's actually looking quite nice. I feel like if I had the right shade, this would work for me. But I would definitely have to go up a little bit. But it's sitting on my skin quite nicely. It has a subtle glow. I do feel like it's a little bit more like pigmented than the Catrice one. But the differences between them, I don't know if they are so different in the end. I wasn't sure at first. But I do feel like the Catrice is gonna be my favorite. It just sits on the skin so well. It doesn't have a scent like this that is just too much. Like, that one just has it all for me. But yeah, this one isn't sitting on my skin weirdly. I'm just gonna apply a little bit of concealer because I still have some breakouts. This is the Catrice Pot Concealer. Yeah, I do feel like this is a buildable coverage and it's looking good on the skin, but I'm not going to be building it up too much in this video because I don't feel like that will really match me. I'm just going to leave it at this. It does feel really lightweight. I kind of like it, but yeah, the color just throws me off a little bit. It is only €5 though, so maybe I'll just pick up another shade. I have to say I'm pretty impressed. I'm liking it more than I thought. When I swatched it, I was having doubts, definitely, but I'm liking it now. Like, it's looking good. All right, then we can finally do the shimmery bronzer. I was already applying on my skin. Let's try that again and see how I feel about that. This one, by the way, smells very strongly of coconut, not even like a suntan lotion or anything like that. It smells like a coconut, like a fresh coconut that you just opened. It truly smells like the coconut itself. Okay, let's blend this out. If this is like similar to the original ones, it's gonna be really easy to do. Yeah, that's super easy. And shimmery. This is an actual like glittery shimmery bronzer, and I like a bronzer with a sheen, and that is usually what is meant when they say a bronzer is shimmery, but this one is a little bit more glittery than what I usually go for. I don't know if I love that, but if you're someone who likes a bit of a glittery bronzer, this could be for you. It does blend out nicely. I do like the shade of this. Like, besides that, it's working well. I do definitely like smell the coconut while applying it. It's not a subtle scent. It's definitely there. I don't know what to think about like the obvious pieces of glitter in this. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think you're really gonna see that on camera, but I do really see it on my face. I think for me this could work, but it would definitely be a summer bronzer. It wouldn't really be for this time of year for me. Like, it's cute, it works well. If you like, for example, the bronze pots by Made by Mitchell, like this is a similar effect. Like you see those shimmers, even though these might be a little bit more subtle than those. Like, I'm gonna see if in the end I'm actually gonna use this. I was hoping for the shimmer to be a little bit more like maybe densely packed, where you don't really see like the individual shimmers, or maybe more like a sheen. Okay, so I did some gel in my brows, and I actually am really liking how they're looking. Do you think I should do this more often? Like, is this a good brow look? I don't feel in a way that it looks much different than what I usually do. The longer I'm looking at this bronzer, the more I'm liking it. It's definitely shimmery, and if you come up really close, then you're gonna see that. But in a way, it does feel kind of like sparse enough to be a fun summer bronzer. So I think I'm liking it. I have to get used to it a little bit. Okay, next up, I think this is a really interesting product, and it's turning out different than I thought when I bought it. So here I have the Soft Touch Mousse Blush, and this is the one in 10 Cozy Clay. They didn't have all the shades, but I thought, okay, let's do something a little bit different for me. Maybe I can use this as a bronzer as well as a bronzer. It is definitely a little bit of a warm shade, a little bit peachy. But what I was thinking is that this would be similar to the cream blush from the chocolate collection. What was the collection called again? I Love It, a Chocolate, I think. There we had a mousse blush as well, but that one was a cream blush. So with this one I thought, okay, it's also gonna be a cream blush. But then I touched it, and it's actually fluffy moussey. It is like touching an actual chocolate mousse, and it looks like that. It's so interesting. And then when you first see the product, it looks much darker than when you touch it. And then you actually see the true color. This one has a bit of a like, I don't know, chocolatey, nutty, sweet scent to it, and not exactly those things, something like that. I always find it really hard to describe scents. This one doesn't really bother me. I feel like it's smelling quite nice. Okay, so I'm gonna try and grab a little bit of that with a blush brush. I'm gonna try first with the Singe blush brush, but if it doesn't work, we're gonna try something else. So let's just apply that and see. Yeah, it's definitely a warm kind of like clay peach. That is so blurring. That is so blurring. Absolutely crazily blurring. Very matte, but then also very perfecting on the cheeks. I actually quite like this shade. It's quite like subtle in color. It's not super pigmented, it seems. Like maybe if I try and build it up a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can take a little bit more. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty light color. I think I could use this as a bronzer. Like, it's not really my type of shade for blush, but it would be a very nice bronzer for me. It has the peachy, almost rosy clay tone. Okay, I think I really like this. Just look at that. It's so matte in comparison to what else is going on my face. But it's just blurred my entire cheek. If you like a matte blush, I do have to say, where I touched it to swatch it, it's kind of like falling apart almost. It's very interesting, so be careful that you're not like ripping apart your blush. Like, this is not gonna look good for very long, I can tell you that. This is so interesting. Absolutely not what I was thinking, because they already had a mousse blush that was something totally different, and it's working quite well with a bit more of a fluffy brush. I think I said there were only 2 shades available at Booty Shop. Now the other one didn't really seem like my shade, but there was also this berry shade that could be interesting more as a blush. This is such an interesting cheek look, so different from like what I usually do, but also such a different formula than what I usually have. This is a truly nude blush. I have heard people say that nude blushes are gonna be on trend. Like, this could be that kind of blush. Like a barely there blush. And yeah, it dries down, I think, completely. It doesn't feel like super creamy, and it's extremely smooth. I feel a little bit strange not having bright pink cheeks, but this is pretty fun to try something a little different. Alright, next up we have a highlighter that I want to try. I got the Baby Got Diamond highlighter stick. I told you I was going to grab this because I also have the Diamond Haze highlighter by Catrice, and I also have the My Heart Beats Disco highlighter by Essence, and I did want to compare it. So this just says a highlighter stick with glitter effect. And it's a cream highlighter that has kind of like a clear base, but then it has shimmer all throughout it. I do also have the Diamond Haze highlighter by Catrice. That one has kind of like more apparent shimmer particles. It seems a little bit more shimmery than this one. And I also have the My Heart Beats Disco highlighter that is also a little bit more shimmery than this one. I'm gonna show you the comparisons. I'm gonna show you the swatches. But I did feel like the Diamond Haze and the My Heart Beats Disco were a little bit more similar to each other than this one. This one seemed a little bit more subtle. Also, there's like a hint of difference with the undertones of them, but that is so slight you're not gonna see that on the cheeks. Also, I have a packaging that's really hard to open. Okay, so it's a highlighter stick like the other highlighter, bronzer sticks, things like that. That is just the packaging that they do for their cream cheek products. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that on my finger, and I'm gonna dab that on the high points. It might look a little bit crazy because we have such a matte blush, and usually when you apply a cream highlighter on top of a very matte blush, it just starts looking a little like strange. I do feel like in a way this is the most almost subtle one from the ones that I've tried. Feels really creamy. I don't think it's really lifting anything up. I do feel like there's almost something a little sparse about the shimmers, about the way the shimmers are dispersed. And I usually like it when it's a little bit more densely packed, just like with bronzers. It makes it look a little bit more subtle, but it also makes it so that you can really see all the like individual shimmer particles on the cheeks. I think if you really want that diamond bomb glow, that wet look glow, this might not be exactly that. Like, it's cute, it's glowy, but it's not, I think, the same as the other highlighters, the Diamond Haze and the My Heart Beats Disco. That Diamond Haze, I think, is gonna be my personal favorite. Like, this works, but I just feel like that does a little bit more for that wet look effect. Like, I'm slightly disappointed in this one. to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna take off the lip gloss. I think this is an absolutely beautiful lip gloss. I understand it's like a one gloss, it's not a full range. Like, the pigments in here are so nice and shifty. It doesn't have any plumping quality to it whatsoever. Does it have a scent? Did I say if it had a scent? Yeah. Subtly sweet. So we're gonna take this off because we have some more lip products to try. With this new update, we now have colored versions of the Super Peptide Glossy Lip Treatment. I love the original one. I use it every day, multiple times a day. It's so hydrating, it's so nice. It has a subtle scent, it is so good. And now we have 3 shades. What I think is funny is that these are 02, 03, and 04. What happened to 01? Like, were they gonna come out with a 01 but then it fell through? Like, where is 01? I feel like that would be like the lighter nude maybe, because now we have a peachy pink, a cool tone pink, and kind of like a brownie nude. I really am so excited about this because this is basically like a colored version of my favorite lip product that I use the most. So we have a 02 Pinkified. This is the cool tone pink. I really love a cool tone pink lip. It's totally my thing, but all of these shades look so good. And we have 03 Toffeetastic, which is more of that like cool toned-ish, like slightly deeper brown. It has something maybe a little bit mauvey to it. And then a peachy pink is called 04 Coralized. So it's more of a corally pink. Okay, let's try them out. I'm gonna first put on Pinkified. Smells quite sweet, kind of like vanilla, but yeah, not too in your face scented. I do really love the softness and the hydration of this lip product. The color of it is subtle, but I don't mind. For me, this is really like a no makeup look kind of product. I think this is a beautiful color. It has a nice glow to it. It's not extremely shiny, it's not extremely gloopy. It's just a soft, hydrating, softly pigmented product. I think this is a beautiful color. Then we have the slightly deeper cool tone mauvey brown. I think this is a beautiful color. This was 03 Toffeetastic. Beautiful shade. This would go with so many looks. I could definitely see myself reaching for these over and over and over again. Throw these in a bag. This is so great for like when I go into the office. I always like to have something comfortable, easy to reapply. This is such a cute color. And then we have the coral shade. This was 04 Coralized. This is a really nice kind of like spring summer color for me. This is really, really cute. Really love this shade as well. Then next up we also have the Glossy Glaze Shiny Lipstick, and I decided to go with 2 different shades just to see if I even like this formula. There are 4 shades in total. I got the shade 02 On Cloud Nude, and this is kind of like a sort of peachy, rosy, lighter nude. These have that very typical cheapy candy essence scent that I absolutely hate, and I wish they would stop with it. Like sometimes they do scents really well. Like the scent from the Super Peptide Glossy Lip Tint, it is just subtle vanilla, nothing offensive about it. But these are then so like cheap smelling, like kids makeup. So we also have the shade 03 Pink Things Up. There's also a red shade and a mocha shade. But yeah, I wanted to try 2 shades and not overwhelm myself too much. Alright, let's start out with the nude shade. I don't really know what to think of this. I hope I'm gonna like it. This scent is definitely throwing me off. This is not looking super flattering on my lips. It's not really smoothing things over. It's kind of emphasizing the lines and the dryness of my lips. It's not super shiny. It's kind of like a tinted lip balm almost. Feels quite nice, like it's thin but not too thin. It feels like it would probably be pretty hydrating. But yeah, nothing about this is really convincing me. Nothing about this is really special. It's really making me go like, oh, I definitely would like to wear that again. It's just, I don't know, okay. Let's hope that the pink is better. With this one, I don't know, I also have my doubts. It doesn't look super smooth. It also doesn't look really glossy, a little bit more glossy. It makes a little bit more of an impact, but I don't really think I love this shade. Like this formula is, I don't know. I could imagine some people still liking it. It's not unusable, but just with the way my lips are and what I'm expecting from this, I just think that the peptide ones are way better. They are just giving me what I want. So these are not gonna be my favorites, I think. I'm happy I only bought 2 shades. At least now I know that it's not a shade issue. Both of the shades weren't really for me. I think this is just okay. And then lastly, I bought the Essence Glassy Eyes Mini Nail Polish. I just thought that this looked really interesting. We have kind of like this pearly trend going on, and I thought I could show you this by applying this as a topper over the nail polish that I have on right now. So I'm actually going to be doing that real quick right now. I thought if I do it before filming the video, I'm just gonna mess it up. So I'm gonna do that quickly right now, and then I will be back with my thoughts. So this is gonna be the finished look. It's always an interesting look with these types of videos because usually nothing really like fits together, suits together. I do have to say that the nail polish gives quite a nice kind of like pearly pink effect. I do like it on top of the polish that I'm wearing right now. It's kind of like a cute topper. I could definitely see some people really liking that if you are into a pearly look. Like this can be something to create a pearly finish on your other nail polishes as well, because it is more sheer. I feel like generally I have some mixed feelings about these products. Some of them I really like, some of them I like a little bit less. I think I really enjoy the highlighting drops, really could see myself using those. I really enjoy the Peptide lip tints. They have a really nice formula and a nice amount of pigmentation. These are gonna be like handbag lip products. Then this Pearly Potion Multi-Reflective Lip Gloss is definitely one of the most interesting lip gloss that I've tried in my life. It is shimmery, it has different colored shimmers, but then it also has kind of like this multichrome sheen to it. Really special, really beautiful. I don't have anything else like that in my collection. The shiny lipsticks, I'm glad I didn't buy the whole range. I think they are okay. I don't love them. Then we have the Shimmery Stick Bronzer. I feel like I have to get used to it a little bit, but it does work well. But keep in mind, it is definitely truly shimmery. The Eye Sparkling Lip Liner, I think, looks really cute. The Jelly Jewels Glitter Eyeshadow Topper gives a nice effect to the lids. Yeah, I do really like it. This is cute. And then the Soft Touch Mousse Blush. I think it gives a really nice blurred matte effect. It's a really interesting color. I feel like for me it's not like giving enough of a flush for me to really use this as a blush, but that of course is my personal preference. I would definitely use this as a bronzer. The only thing I would say is that after using it once, it doesn't really look that appealing anymore. But it's definitely an interesting formula. It is so moussey and then it dries down so matte and blurry. I think a lot of people could really enjoy this if you want a really perfecting blush. The brow powder so far I really like. I do really like the way my brows are looking today. Then this Baby Got Diamond highlighter stick. I don't like this one as much as the other ones because the shimmer in this is just a little bit more sparse. I don't feel like it gives as much of that wet look as the other ones. I would personally go with the Diamond Haze highlighter by Catrice. Then the foundation stick I definitely think has some potential. I do like how my skin is looking right now. We're gonna see how it's gonna wear. I do feel like it's nice and buildable. You don't have to wear it full on. You can also just use a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural still. There is definitely something to be said for this stick. I do feel like I'm gonna like the Catrice more in the end because that one just looks flawless on my skin and I love the color that I have in that one, and it isn't scented, and the scent in this is just making me not wanna love this. It's really holding me back. If you don't mind the scent, I feel like people could really like get into this. I'm of course gonna give it a chance. I'm of course gonna use it more. I just don't know because of that if it's gonna be a favorite. And that's gonna be it for the new Essence update. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.